using AI meaningfully and safely. 99% of people want to know, will AI take over my job? It may. There are hundreds of jobs today that are fully automated and have no humans involved. As Abraham Lincoln once said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. AI is not always correct. It can be inaccurate. It can hallucinate from time to time. How do you leverage AI in your career in a way that's impactful, safe, and ethical? When you're giving an AI tool or an AI company all your data, you need to ask yourself, is it worth it? Let's take the example of Amazon's AI recruitment tool. This project had to be shut down. Every time you're interacting with AI, which is, well, almost every day, ask yourself these 5 questions that I shared with you today. How do you even know the decisions you're making in your day-to-day are not under the influence of AI? What if I told you, from AI chatbots like ChatGPT that you're so casually chatting with every day, to AI agents that you're interacting with in your day-to-day without even realizing, these are not only answering your questions, but they're listening to you, talking to you, learning from you, becoming scarily good at pretending to be more and more like you, and ultimately influencing you and your decisions. Let me give you an example. You've likely experienced it yourself, or you will soon, if not already. Let's say you're a bit frustrated with your internet provider regarding a billing issue. After multiple tries with their customer support over chat or an email, you just want to get it solved ASAP. So what do? You pick up your phone and call customer service. And voila, there you are, talking to an AI agent. I see this happening around us. These AI agents have become more and more human-like over the last year. If that AI customer service detects frustration or anger in your voice, it learns and it can adjust its tone and sound more empathetic towards you. It can adjust its tone, pitch, and words to make you feel good, resolve the matter for you, fix that billing issue, all the while calming you down, and maybe even convince you to make another purchase with them or subscribe for add-ons. Now, how does that happen? These AI agents that you're talking to create their output, in this case the words, the tone, the pitch, using learning models like large language model or LLM. And these LLMs are trained on very large data sets. For example, in this case, loads of examples of real human-to-human conversations, which allows them to process information using pattern recognition and be able to create output in a manner that sounds more and more like you. Today, an AI customer service can already mimic human-like conversations, emotions, and experiences. A great example of that is AI that can have long phone calls with you with full conversations that sound like real human. And these AI agents can even make you feel good or bad in case it generates inaccurate output or output that does not resonate with you, and ultimately influence you and your decisions, very similar to how a real human would. But in all of this, here's the biggest kicker. The AI agent doesn't feel anything. Even though it's getting scarily good to sound more and more like you, it doesn't feel anything. Those experiences are not real. These conversations are not real. But you still somehow get emotional. Somehow, the AI agent has not only managed to sound like a human, but also influence how you feel, what you decide, and how you act. So when people ask me, am I scared of AI? I say this. Well, I'm mostly excited. But yeah, maybe I'm also a tad bit scared. But not because an army of AI robots is taking over humanity, but because while AI is going to be a massive benefit to humanity, it also has the potential to influence you, your behavior, and your decision making, both positively and negatively. So let me ask you again, how do you know the decisions you're making in your day-to-day are not under the influence of AI? How do you not become the servant of AI and rather use it to stay ahead of the rest of the 99% in this AI race? Whether you're an engineer, cybersecurity professional, data scientist, or just someone who's curious, here are 5 no-nonsense, no bullshit, real questions you should be asking about AI to differentiate real from fake, good from bad, ethical from unethical, and ultimately use AI to change your future and create for yourself a hopeful future. Let's dig right in. Number 1, how will AI affect your job? 99% of people want to know, will AI take over my job? It may. There will certainly be some displacement, but that question is too vague and too broad. As Abraham Lincoln once said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. There are hundreds of jobs today that are fully automated and have no humans involved. But that was not the case 100 years ago or even a few decades ago. One of the greatest examples of that is agriculture. We have moved from a society where over 90% of the world farmed or worked in agriculture. Today, only a minority does that, and most of it has been already augmented by technology. Another example is that we no longer have humans as elevator operators in most parts of the world, especially most parts of the developed world. So, will AI take over my job is a too broad and a too vague question to ask. Instead, these are the questions you should really be asking. How do you skill up? How do you use AI to augment your role or parts of your job? How do you make your role even stronger with the help of AI? How do you use AI as a competitive advantage in your role? How do you make up for the shortcomings or the risks of AI? For example, AI is not always correct. It can be inaccurate. It can hallucinate from time to time. So you need to be asking these questions to stay ahead of the 99%. I do go deeper into how do you skill up and AI in cybersecurity in my Security Leadership Masterclass. I'll link that for you. Go check it out. Number 2, are you talking to a human or AI? Now, as I said earlier, AI will displace some jobs. In some cases, maybe not the entire job, maybe it will take over some aspects of certain jobs. And in a lot of other cases, it will augment certain roles. We're starting to see this big trend of hyper-personalization, for example, in customer service. Customer service is one of the fastest industries being displaced by AI, and this trend will only continue. Hyper-personalization is the future of customer experiences. We are seeing more and more examples of AI customer services and hyper-personalization every day, such as when you're browsing Netflix or when you're using Air AI. So now the question is, as a consumer, do you know if you're looking at something or listening to something that is created by a human or by AI? Do you know whether you're interacting with a real human or a human like AI pretending to be a human? We're already at a point in history of humanity where AI can make you feel emotions even though it doesn't feel anything, even though we have not reached AGI yet. It can influence you and your decisions. Now imagine while AI is able to do all that, but you don't even know you're talking to an AI. Your emotions get fired up by an AI, but you don't know that. Your decisions get manipulated by an AI, but you don't know that. You respond thinking it's human on the other side. Now, would your response be different if you knew it was AI that you were talking to or interacting with? So the question you need to ask is, are you talking to a human or is it AI that you're interacting with? And those lines will only get blurrier as we go forward and as AI becomes more and more seamless and capable of being human-like and creating human-like interactions. Knowing whether it's AI or human that you're interacting with will be critical for the decisions that you make going forward. Number 3, could this AI tool be biased? Every AI tool can be biased. That's just a fact. However, the AI itself is not biased, at least not until AI has its own conscious or until it has become sentient. For now, these biases come from the underlying data sets or algorithms or models it's based on. These biases seep into the AI systems and influence the output of the AI tool. If you put crap data in, you will get crap data out. Likewise, if you put biased data in or you have biased algorithms, you'll get biased data out. Let's take the example of Amazon's AI recruitment tool that almost came to be. Their machine learning team was working on it since 2014. This AI tool aimed to solve the challenges of hiring and to automate hiring, which is a worthy cause. But it turned out that this amazing AI recruitment tool hated women. It showed bias against women and favored male candidates. Now ask yourself why. Because it was trained on data sets that were primarily based on resumes from the last 10 years, and majority of those resumes belong to male candidates. This is what Reuters had to say about the resumes that were fed into this recruitment tool. Most came from men, a reflection of male dominance across the tech industry. No wonder it didn't like women. In fact, it taught itself to prefer men over women. This Amazon project had to be shut down eventually, and rightly so. So every time you're interacting with AI, which is, well, almost every day, ask yourself, could this AI tool be biased? In what ways? What the underlying data sets it's trained on? How does the underlying algorithm work? And how do you avoid these biases to be reflected in the output? Number 4, are you using AI meaningfully and safely? I bet most of you are already using AI at work, at least generative AI, no doubt. The new survey from the conference board found that at least 56% of the workers were using generative AI on the job, with nearly 1 in 10 employing the technology on a day-to-day basis. So how do you leverage AI in your career in a way that's impactful, safe, and ethical? Here are 3 things that you and your business should be doing today. Number 1, define some guidelines around how you should be using AI tools. Build an AI strategy. Your AI strategy should be answering these questions. What are the key use cases you'll be focusing on when using AI? Which direction you want to go? What outcomes you wish to achieve with using AI? Not every problem is an AI problem. Not everything needs to be artificially intelligized. Number 2, educate yourself on both sides of the coin. Learn and or teach about both the innovation side of it, but also be aware of and have actionable steps to understand and address the risks and negative impacts of AI and an AI tool. As I said earlier, AI can give inaccurate results. It can hallucinate from time to time, and it can be biased. Number 3, build a sandbox, a playground of sorts, where you can test and play with the AI tool and the mock data without repercussions. Don't use customer data, sensitive data, or other critical data without really knowing how the AI tool works. Do that sandboxing exercise before moving AI tools into your actual business model or actually using your real productive business data. The biggest mistake that I see people making today is that they try to put AI in everything without any specific use case. Don't do that. Instead, educate yourself, empower yourself, and encourage yourself to use AI in a safe, secure, ethical, and legal manner without bias or discrimination. By the way, if you're wondering where to start with an AI strategy, grab my free AI strategy template. I'll link it for you. Also, if you're not so sure of AI use cases in cybersecurity, I also go through some key AI use cases and trends in my security leadership masterclass. I'll also link that for you. Go check it out. And it will save you years of trial and error and help you get to your goals faster. Okay, so back to top 5 questions on AI. Lastly, number 5, how does this AI or this AI tool use your data? Sure, you're sharing your data all over the internet, everywhere, all the time. However, your data can be and is highly likely being used to train AI models. And yeah, sure, while you should be asking this question for every technology that processes your data, AI stands out. It stands out because it can learn from patterns, it can be trained on your data, and it can evolve based on your data, becoming more and more like you. It can use that to not only learn about the world, but also learn about you and mimic you. Are you okay with your data being used like that? Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but that's a question you need to ask. Do you provide any sensitive data to the AI models or the algorithms? Is it your personal data that you are actually using or feeding into the AI? Is it critical business data or any of the sensitive data? Because there is no free lunch, ever. This is the price you pay nonetheless to use the technology. While you cannot avoid it fully unless you stop using the internet, keep this one thing in mind. When you're giving an AI tool or an AI company all your data, you need to ask yourself, is it worth it? Especially when the data is sensitive or critical. Is it worth it just to get a free service? Likely not. You want to look out for transparency when deciding which AI tool you wish to use or work with. LLM-based AI tools work on huge data sets. You would want to know if, when, and how your data can and will be used to train the AI models. You need to know and you need to ask this. How are they processing your data and how will they use it to train the underlying model? Where is the data stored? Is it possible to turn off the feature where your data is not being used for training the AI model? How can you ensure that? To sum it up, AI, especially generative AI, is capable of mimicking you and behaving more and more human-like, thereby influencing you and your decision making, both for good and for bad. To not become the servant of AI and to rather use AI to stay ahead of the rest of the 99% in this AI race, you need to ask yourselves these 5 questions that I shared with you today in this video. What are some of the other questions that you would like to be added to that list? Share in the comments below. That's all for today's video. If you loved it, please, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video with someone who needs to see this. I'll see you in the next video. This is Monica signing off.